Hi everyone, welcome to the Queen's Court.
Hello.
Today we are joined by a special guest.
Very special.
We are joined by one half of Beauty and the Beast, Lucian Phillips. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, Lucian.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. So how's lockdown been treating you? Or the various lockdowns, I should say.
Yeah.
I think you have to make the best of both. You have to make the best of it. I think there's a lot of negativity going around, especially like what you see on the news. But there's a lot of negativity, and you just got to be like, I think modern day society, we've been spoiled with the luxuries we've had.
Absolutely.
Like people will complain about lockdown, but this is the harsh truth. If you've got a roof over your head, if you got two legs and go for a walk, if you've got two eyes and you can just watch Netflix all day, you're actually better off than I don't mean to get personal, but if you haven't got a partner that is violent to you, but you're just home alone, you're actually doing a lot better than than you think.
Yeah,
but because we're the first generation, or not first generation, but I think is it Piers Morgan? I don't know. One of the ITV presenters just said, 60 years ago, we told young men, you're going to war. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You went. And like he said, all you have to do is stay indoors, go out to Tesco's or Asda or the other supermarkets, because I can't promote all of them. And it's just and then just stay indoors. Yes, it's boring, but this is the time where, for me, I've woken up to, if wrestling does come back to the UK scene, it's lit a fire up my ass. And I'm watching wrestling more now. I'm appreciating the little things, and I've developed this is what I was, and now this is where I want to go, or this is what I want to become. And I just try not to. I've had many years of negativity, and actually being isolated is actually made me a happier person. In a weird sense, because you've got no negativity, you've just got yourself, and that's a hard pill to swallow. You got to go, it's just you and me. What we're going to do about it? And you can either, like in the first lockdown, a lot of my peers who I've seen wrestling or gym goers, they were complaining about, the gyms aren't opening, but pubs are. Well, I can tell you from working in a dirty, sweaty warehouse, there are more skinhead guys that just, after a hard day's work, just want to go down the pub. There's 80% of them will want to just go and have a drink and go down the pub. There's only 20% that may want to go to the gym. And then that 20%, 10 or 5% would go to the pub afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying when it's not annoying, but I find it funny where you see these people complaining, but really, again, it's like, what's the average punter? And in my warehouse, I'm probably one of 5 people that go to the gym.
Yeah.
Out of 100. And out of that 100, 45 would go to the pub.
Yeah.
So I totally understand why pubs would reopen before gyms, because, and also at the end of the day, the government makes so much money on booze.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's like they say about mental health with gyms there with mental health. They definitely do. But for some people, go into the gym or just go in shopping or go into a cinema or go in wrestling, that's all for their good mental health, isn't it? So one man's passion is another man's poison, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's funny because I this is my personal stuff, but I would go to the gym to tackle my mental health. I love lifting weights because, again, in life, it's promotion at work, trying to get a booking in wrestling, or there's so many things, or me trying to in my personal life, maybe trying to go for a date or something, you're relying on a third party to make you happy.
Yeah.
With lifting weights for me it's me versus this heavy object. There's no outside influence, no third party. It's just you and that weight, and no one can take that away from you apart from, you know, the bigger guy in the room. And that's when you throw at him. And that's what I love about weightlifting. Or it could not be, it could maybe painting, I guess, as well, because it's just you and that image in the back, in the is it foreground? No, forefront. I want to say forefront.
Yeah, foreground, I think. Do you paint?
Oh, I don't know. No, but I'm just trying to find another example where it's just you and a thing you enjoy. Like, as much as I love wrestling, I haven't got a wrestling ring in my garden. I have to rely on a school to be open. Then I can go to train and enjoy my training. So I have to rely on a third party. Well, I think a lot of people need to learn or find something that is just them and an object, or them and a piece of paper and pen. It's they rely on third parties too much to bring happiness into their life. So, you know,
that's true. That.
Yeah. So through the pandemic and the various lockdowns, have you managed to keep your workouts going?
Yeah. So, I've been lucky enough. All the years where I should have gone on holiday, I didn't, and I saved up. I've got myself a cage, a bar. I went to a welder to make me some dumbbells.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, they're not great, but like they will do. Like, I'm happy. Like, again, that sounds negative. I'm happy for what they're worth, but I would like some proper gym ones where you can just drop them and they just bounce. These ones are just steel, and I'm just like, yeah, you can't drop them.
Go through the floorboards.
Yeah, and yeah, so I've been doing well. Like, I've just started doing hill sprints to do cardio again.
All right, yeah.
I just thought, so after the first lockdown ended, I went back to the Portsmouth School of Wrestling, and we were just doing a lot more cardio. So not a lot of wrestling, but a lot more cardio drills, like rope running, up and overs, basic like cardio for wrestling. And it was amazing in 3 months of no wrestling cardio how much myself dropped. So I know when the other lockdowns have happened, I need to do cardio, keep that cardio going. But at the same time, there's nothing like wrestling cardio. I'm sorry to say it. Like, you can jog 10K. I don't care. Are you filled with I can't say the word, but like high hormones? Have you got the buzz? Have you got the nerves? You're sweating, you've got the heat from the light, you've got the crowd, you've got to think about what's next, think about your face and your facials, what are you going to say, what are you going to hit? Like, jogging is putting 2 steps in front of each other at a fast pace.
Yeah,
it's just like, I need to get to A to B, and that's it. That's my goal. But I think with wrestling, there's so much more. So I'm not saying don't do jogging. Yeah, be active, be active and be healthy. But I'm just saying, like, there's no other fitness for it. Like, if I was a rugby player, I wouldn't be doing football training, because when I come to a rugby game, apart from maybe running in my sprints, everything else would be worthless. So
I've been quite impressed with some of the wrestlers, how they've improvised and made their own sets of weights and what have you in the back garden, in their garage, and it's been quite cool to watch. And I saw Rob Lyons have put together a load of weights in his back garden. That looked quite good.
Yeah, he's got himself a nice little garage gym, and I say good to him. Like,
absolutely.
He's turning in a negative situation into a positive. You know, it's like, cool, I'm gonna do this, and he's done it. You know, the exact same with me. Like, I haven't, for me personally, I haven't took any pictures of where I'm training, just because I've spent a fair bit of kit. Like, I bought myself a assault bike, and they're about $750 to $1,000 a piece, and I don't want to take photos of it.
Yeah,
yeah, it's in a garage gym.
yeah.
You know?
Don't want to advertise it. Yeah,
Yeah. So I've been keeping my little den quite offline, but you can see all the walks I've been doing. I'm just like, just positive, just to keep positive energy. I think that's what you got to do in these in this tough time.
I mean, especially during the first lockdown, it was easier to go out and go for walks and that, because it was lovely sunny weather, wasn't it? Sit in the garden. But I've found during this lockdown recently, it's been cold and wet and damp, but you still got to try and push yourself and go for walks at least, haven't you? You know, or get out and about and do something, exercise.
It's been harder, yeah.
And exactly, and you've got a shorter daylight window.
Yeah.
So whereas, like, it was okay to do your walk because guess what? It doesn't get dark till 9 and it's still warm. Where now it's like, I've still got to put hat, gloves, a jumper, a coat, and it gets dark at 4. So, you know, I think the daylight has, I don't think it's lockdown, it's the daylight that's put a more negative issue on this lockdown. Like, personally, in the winter months, I normally go on a sunbed just to get those, like, because it just helps the vitamin D. I know some beds are bad for you, but it's just that, you know, for what, 3 months of the year, once a week for 10 minutes, just to get a bit vitamin. Is it vitamin D or vitamin C? No, vitamin.
Yeah, vitamin D. Yeah,
vitamin D from a sunbed. I think it does you the world of good. Like, I'm not on it every other day for 30 minutes. It's like, you know.
Do you know many wrestlers that do like the sunbeds a lot then?
Yeah, I know a few of them. they like to use oil to get themselves nice and crispy instead of oil's like, it's weird. Oil's the worst thing you can use. Yeah. Because it just burns your skin. But it does then give you that nice dark color. But it's the worst thing you can use. But,
just reminds me of basting a chicken sometimes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen a few orange wrestlers instead of canned wrestlers.
Yeah, I can imagine that. We've seen a few of ourselves, and we, when we were watching. So what got you interested in wrestling in the first place then? Or who got you into wrestling?
Like watching it or wanting to do it?
Oh, both.
Kind of like what PJ said in his video. It was a winter. It was this time in 2000. Yeah, this time of year in 2000. I'm bored after a Sunday walk, waiting for my father to cook dinner, and I'm flicking through the TV, and on Channel 4 was Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah.
It was, I believe, it was the Sunday Night Heat before the Rumble, because they were just doing loads of packages of Raw. Because Heat was literally packages of, like, what's happened on SmackDown, Raw, and a 2-minute match. That's all.
It's like really a highlight show, wasn't it? Really? Yeah.
And it was, and at the time, with my disabilities and my weight, I was very much an outcast in life. I still am, but I'm not as fat. And it was Mick. There was a promo. It was Mick Foley, and or Cactus Jack on stage. And what's the word? It capsulized. It drawed me in. And there's this fat, massive bearded man, not very pretty. Everyone was listening to him. Everyone was cheering him. And then you've got cool kid at school who's got the girl, who's got the title, that's got the friend, like Triple H, where he had Stephanie and he had his friends and he had DX and he had the title, and it's like there's this loser, but everyone's backing him. versus the cool kid. And it just made me think like, well, that is my life. Like, well, apart from no one backing me, but I'm like, I'm this uncool kid versus the cool kids at school. And it just hooked me in straight away. And then I think literally after that, like highlight on Raw, there was a clip of Kane getting angry and beating up Kai in the backstage area.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Again, everyone was just cheering on this monster of a mask. So an outcast again. So yeah, when I was younger, like Kane, Cactus Jack, well, he quit after a month after watching it. Well, he fired. And was it Kane, Cactus, Raven? Like in that era, I was always drawn to the kind of like outcast guys that look different. Than, even though like I watched The Rock because it's like this, it was just like he was that good. It wasn't like, oh, he's my favorite wrestler.
So your favorite wrestler is more like Foley and Raven and that sort of guy then?
I think at the time when I was getting into it, but then when you learn about the actual person themselves, like it's changed in years and it's changed in time. Like I would say, you know, 2000 to 2005, there was a group of like 4 guys that I would really want to watch. And then 2010 to 2015, there's this group of guys. And now because of Dark Side of the Ring, I'm watching all the old, like really old stuff from like 1988 and 1999 and going, like, and maybe this will lead on to another question, but I think UK wrestling now, I feel like we've had this, say it goes on for another year with no independent shows. We've had a good 2-year absence to really regrow the fans and make a clothesline mean something, make a slam mean something. So I do feel like over the last 5 years, like everything lost its meaning. It's like, we want to see the Canadian Destroyers, you kick out at 1 because it meant cool. You can bleep if you can.
No, you should swear away, we don't mind.
Oh, good. I try to keep it to a minimum, but like I did feel like that, and I feel like that's why I wasn't enjoying myself. Like, I know I'm deviating a bit, but there was a lot of matches. There was a lot of matches, and I go back, and the promoter goes, "Oh, you didn't do much." I'm like, "Did you hear the reaction on my lariat? Yeah, it was really good. Well, then I did do it. Then I did it right because I didn't do 1,000 moves. I didn't do moves that potentially paralyzed my opponent. Doesn't mean I didn't do a good job." So I feel like now with this absence, the UK scene can actually go back to basics and retrain the audience on what wrestling is again. Because it's kind of like a drug addiction. Over the years, we've just, you know, first it was nicotine. And then it was weed. Then it was coke. Then it was heroin. And then it's whatever poison we can get hold of. And now we've kind of gone cold turkey, apart from WWE and like the bigger brands. But the independent scene, we've got this time now to go, a wrist lock means a wrist lock and damaging my opponent. Instead of like, oh, we're going to do a wrist lock spot, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do that, I'll cut you off. It's just like, no, we can finally actually, like, we can just make everything mean something again and enjoy it. You know?
I mean, I suppose different wrestling promotions got different styles, haven't they? And what they want to see. So what would you say your favorites? What would be your preferred styles?
I'm best as a heel, and I've learned again through my passion or regrowing my passion, just less is more. And it again, it all depends on the promoter. Like, I want to be the best heel in the bit. I want to, if it does come back, I've been thinking about my character and my style and how I'm going to say things and what I'm going to say. And it's very much like, so one of my coaches, again, has taught me to, you know, do promos while you're brushing your teeth, or, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like there's this kind of promo I want to get out where it's like, there's too much of Batman versus Superman. There's too much Iron Man with an edge versus Captain America, instead of like hero versus villain, good versus evil. I feel like a lot of promoters want basically two baby faces, but one with a little bit of an edge.
Yeah.
That doesn't, there's a, it is weird. Like, every company's different and what they want is what they want. But like, I want to wrestle just like every other wrestler. They want to wrestle everywhere. But if for myself to get like, it's hard to describe. I would like to work anywhere. Like, I would like to work everywhere, but to appreciate why you bring me in is to be a heel. For me to be a heel, you've got to appreciate I'm not going to do a drop kick. I'm not going to do a flip. I'm going to do basic stuff that means something, because I make it mean something, instead of, oh, you didn't do a 450. That's not my job. That's not my job as a heel. And I feel like this sounds horrible. Like, promoters who run a regular business, like the big, in England, I think there's the big five, but other companies, there's a lot of them that just, well, actually, that goes into another promo I want to do with my new character, so I won't spoil everything. But I feel like we all got to have the cool kids. We've got to get all the cool kids, instead of like, no, we're a business. We're about making money. Yes, I want, like, with my sport degree, it's all about, let's build a business to make money. Well, let's make money instead of like, invite all the cool kids and it looks like I've got a really cool show. Will it make, all right, that's a great show for that show. Will they come back again? No, because they've got no one to hate. If you hate me, I kick the shit out of your hero or your favorite wrestler. You want the promoter to get a bigger person or a bigger fish to try to kick the shit out of me. They do kick the shit out of me, but you know, I cheat to win. Okay, I want to buy another ticket to see him get his ass kicked again. Okay, cool. I'm going to buy another ticket. And I feel like it's basic psychology. You want me as a heel, or a bad guy, you want my ass to get kicked. But guess what? It ain't going to happen, because I'm, you know, it just ain't going to happen. So when it comes to where I want to work, I want to work everywhere. I just want to be the best. Like, I don't care about selling 8x10s. I don't care about, you know, half time and selling a t-shirt. I like, at my level, like, and that amazes me. There's so many young guys that have one match and they're selling t-shirts. No, how about learning how to bump? Like, do a crisp, sharp bump. How about learning that? How about picking up someone for a fireman's carry that won't break their neck? You know, I'm just more like, I feel like I have my priorities correct. If you want to just sell t-shirts and be cool for a night, be cool for a night. But if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But I rather have longevity and go, hey, Lucian, I'll work with Lucian again, because he didn't drop me on my neck. He didn't, he didn't do a splash and knee me in the ribs. Cool, I'll do that. You know, so I love to work. I think I would love to work for All Star, like do the camp, like do the holiday camp scene, because I just enjoyed that work. Like I've done it for Red Pro with their camp show. I did it a lot. And I just enjoyed it. It was just like, you know, you could like, it was just fun because you can have a match. I had, you know, between 600 to 1,000 people booing me. And all I'm doing is like a Randy Orton pose. All I'm doing is the Rock pose. I was like, I haven't had to kick anyone. I haven't had to hurt my opponent. I just had stood there and go, hate me. And if you stand there long enough because you got confidence, they will hate you because they're jealous because you've got the confidence that they don't have.
Yeah.
So it's
there's some fans that they look down on the camp shows, but I think that's great fun.
Yeah, I think they are. I think because I feel like you can switch off. It's not like you're there to watch fun wrestling.
Yeah.
Like what it should, instead of all these, like I enjoy like watching New Japan and WWE, but it does get to a point where like the psychology or the enjoyment goes out the window. It's like, so maybe to answer another question over another question is why did I have the new gimmick? Because summed it up, I realized that I was a shitty bubblegum flavor ice cream instead of being a really good vanilla. And I feel like that sometimes in wrestling shows is what it's become. It's not just a fun show. It has to be, oh, we got to do this and we got to do that. But it's, okay, it's a cool flavor, but it tastes shit. Instead of a simple flavor, but it's really good. Yeah, I like ice cream, so.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? Yeah, it was a good analogy.
So thinking of when you were first starting out, what was your training experience like?
So this is a long story. I went to a NWA Hammerlock summer camp in Ashford, Kent, when I was 16, and I did it, but I regret it because, again, at the time, I got to be careful how I word this. My Asperger's was very bad. It was still really bad, and I was overweight, and so again, it was just like they just saw me as a fan, giving it a go, and I gave it a go, and I really enjoyed it. And again, it's like I still remember one day where we all had to line up, and we all chopped each other. Like, so you lined up like a chain lineup. So 1, 2, 3, like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One will come out, chop everyone. He or she will join the back of the queue. And it was just like, why are we doing this? I don't get it. And it's like, oh, this will make you a man. I was like, no, it doesn't. It just stings. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. I'll teach you how to be a man. With one punch. And I just remember one exercise, or it was an experience, but I really enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, I felt like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. So I had like I stopped watching wrestling after that. I just fell out of love. I felt like shit. Didn't watch it, whatever. And then 5 years later, I had training. Weirdly enough, I had training to counteract my Asperger's. Not counteract it, but help it. So like I could talk to you and you wouldn't know it, or you couldn't tell. And then I was at uni and I just saw a poster for pro wrestling. Went, okay, cool, let's go to it. And it was like, I went there and it was a real nice venue, real nice setup. but literally it was guys wearing Nike skins and like the Longsdale, boxing shoes.
Yeah,
And I was just like, I know, and then it kind of relit. It's weird watching something bad just infuriated me enough to go, if they can do this, I know I can do this.
Yeah.
And then, but I met a few people. I actually talked to them, and they mentioned a guy. I'm not sure if I mentioned his name, but at the time, he ran WrestleForce. Before Oliver Peace owns it now.
All right, yeah.
And and it was weird. He was the owner at the time. He was away for my first session, so I had what's his name? Not Paul London. Paul Source of Essex Robertson. That's it.
Oh, Paul Robinson.
My first training session was with Paul Robinson.
Wow.
And he was like, for a guy that knows nothing, he was the nicest. Like, I don't know. He may get angry at me now, ruin his credit. But as a coach, he was the nicest person I would ever. He was the nicest person I've ever met. Like in my first ever training session, like he was. I had no confidence, and he was the most positive guy to push you. Like I couldn't flip bump, and he had so much patience. So, all right, let's do a handstand flip bump. And he just had patience with me. And it was just like, I was like, cool. Like, and then a few weeks later, it was one half of the London riots. Rob Lynch? No. I want to say Rob Lynch. No. Rob is one half of the London riots. Anyway, the good one, should we say. And again, he was really patient, and he was a big guy. He was a big guy at the time, and he gave me the confidence of I was quite big even when I first started, like in a bad way. He gave me the confidence to flip bump because, hey mate, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, cool. And he just showed me another technique. Well, if it doesn't suit you this way, try this way. And then the actual teacher turned up for the rest. So my first training session was really cool. And that lasted about a couple of months. Then I went to, at the time at uni, I went to London School of Lucha Libre.
All right, yeah.
LS. I can't remember how they do their acronyms. But that was a good place. Like it was great fun cardio, good conditioning, but I just didn't. It wasn't the style I fell in love with.
No.
So I knew, even though it's like, again, even though it was ice cream, it wasn't my favorite flavor.
Yeah. That's understandable.
And I had to go somewhere. And then I was searching for a school, and then one day IPW UK Portsmouth School just came up on Facebook. And I literally just messaged him like, yeah, can I join? I went, yep. And then, 6 years later, I'm still there. So
cool. Yeah.
It's pretty much, and that's still run by Andy Quilden.
All right, yeah.
But it's funny because during this time period, and what we're talking about 7 years ago, there's this big thing of like, oh, if you go to another school, you're not loyal. And
really?
I'm just like, you don't become the best doctor by only learning from one surgeon. You become the best doctor because you learn a little bit over there, a little bit over there. Yeah. You took some of this over there. If you only go again with ice cream, if I only know how to make vanilla, you're expendable. You have to learn how to make this. You have to learn how to do this. I can't do flips for shit, but I know how to post and hold someone so they can do it for me to make them look good.
Yeah.
So it's, I think it's calmed down now. Like I think in the last 2 years, it's like, good for you. good for you to go out to different schools and learn from other people. But 7 years ago, again, but you can go back to mental health. It's like 7 years ago. Oh, you're depressed. Oh, don't talk to Phil. Don't talk to don't talk to Dave. He's a freak. He's got depression. But now it's like, but with now it's like, if you've got depression or I'm trying to think of another one that not being talked about. What's the one where you make yourself sick?
Bulimia.
Bulimia.
Yeah.
Bulimia. Like, if you've got bulimia, like, don't be scared to talk about it. Like, talk about it and get it out of your system, and people to help you is the best thing you can do. But 7 years ago, it's like, oh, stay away from her, stay away from him. He's a freak.
Yeah.
And again, it's that culture. So I'm not saying, it's like, I don't mean to be negative. I'm just saying at the time, that's how I perceived it, but it's changed for the better now.
Yes.
So I'm being more positive. And also, I kind of learned, me having depression, I didn't have any self-confidence. And I feel like people I've met, like, Phil, you're 6'1", you weigh 95 kg, and and you used to play rugby, you used to do boxing, like even at work, they're like, because I'm a skinhead now, they all take the piss out of me and they call me like Perry Saturn and stuff. So it's just like, I learned, like, this can be negative, but I've learned if anyone's got an issue with me, we can just go. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Where I think at the time, I was like, okay, yes, sir, okay. Well, now I'm just like, nah, that doesn't fly with me. Yeah. And it does offend a lot of people, but I'm not gonna stand there and be bullied.
Yeah, you got to stand up for yourself sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
So a fair few of us then, we first saw you at Big League with Jamie Hayter as your valet when you were the bad guy. Yeah, that was cool. That was. But so, how did you find working with Jamie, and how did you find it working with Lewis and the rest of the Big League locker room? Because you're quite the fan favourite of Big League.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to be positive. I'm not saying it wasn't positive. It was, but being backstage and learning from guys like Eddie Ryan and Big Riz, and the list can go on, but they're the two that just stick out. Was a great learning experience and fun, and making, again, they all made simple stuff look so good and meaningful, instead of like, you just watch Ring of Honor and you've just watched Impact and it's like, no, let's just do this. And we're like, okay. But working with Jamie Hayter was I was working with a really good friend. That's all I can say. It was like working with a good friend. I think she was, I'll say this in a positive light, she wanted to be a wrestler, not a manager. And I think that in the matches you could see it, or like she wasn't pumped. Because now you look at her work now, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, amazing.
It really is. She's like, she is. I don't know why she's not signed. Because she's got the look. She's really like developed herself during lockdown. Like she's taken a negative situation and done something with it. But at the time at Big League, where they made her my manager, she didn't want to be a manager. She wanted to be a wrestler. And I think that hindered. You could see in matches with me and Chris Andrews, or me and I can't remember the other match, but you could see there wasn't, the spots she was supposed to be doing weren't as 100%. So
was that a match with Jake, perhaps?
Oh yeah, I forgot. That is my favorite ever match.
That was a hell of a match. That was, yeah.
yeah. I think there's one spot I hate. But again, even that match, like there was that spot where I hit her and stuff.
Yeah.
You go back, oh, it just 1 second faster, and you'd be like, perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really annoying because I can't get that on a. I don't. It's like vanished that match. It's really annoying, but it's probably one of my. If I could work Jake on the camps,
Yeah.
like 6 nights a week for 6 weeks in a row, I would.
Yeah. Because Jake's another phenomenal talent as well, isn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, and I want to say praise, which is praise is due. Jake really, during my training years, he really helped me step it up the next level. Every time. He was the guy that always had patience with me, always we just had good chemistry. Like we worked several times, and it was always, I never went back and went, all right, there's always stuff you can improve. There's always stuff to improve, but I never went back, oh, that was shit. You know, every time I wrestled Jake, it was like, had fun. Just always had fun.
Yeah.
And I still remember, actually, this is a funny story. He took my head off. So at the school at the time, I'm like the biggest guy there, and people are giving me clotheslines, and I'm just like, okay, I bump, being cooperative and stuff. And then one day, me and Jake have a training match because the Andys wanted to see how well I was doing and how well I was improving. And Jake's like, yeah, we'll do this comeback, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take the clothesline. And he just takes my head off. And I'm just lying there for like 10 seconds. I'm dying. And yeah, he showed me how to be snug. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Again, yeah, I think that's one straw I can remember at Jake. And we take the piss out of me all the time. It's just like that first close, like, you know, he gave me a pro wrestling clothesline, not a trainee clothesline.
Yeah.
And that was fun. But no, big league, I got nothing but positivity for the opportunity to wrestle guys. Like like at Reach, I wrestled Chris. Like,
yeah,
people forget this. At Reach Wrestling, me and Chris Andrews opened the match. I think it was like one of his last matches before he retired.
Yeah,
I was like, that's really cool.
That was a cracking match as well.
Yeah, like, again, all we did was, cool, the story of the match is I'm gonna work a rear naked choke. That's it. But, you know, Chris old schooled me and was just like, yep, this is the match. What do you want to do? Not work a rear naked choke? Cool. See you out there. I'm like, okay. It was like, you know, there was no like, oh, we're going to do this, then we'll lock up, and then we'll do this, and then this is my comeback, this is my go home. It was just like, cool. I've got a bad shoulder. Okay. I'm just going to do this story. Cool. See you out there. Okay. I think the only thing I kind of told him was my punch, where I was like, I hit you on that side of the neck, so turn your head that way. And he remembered. It's just like,
they're good. Yeah.
But I think that's it. I think that's the only, like, he proper all-star. He proper old schooled me, but see you out there. Like, cheers, mate.
Yeah. But because you were quite a fan favorite at Big League, weren't you? It's all the big. You might have been the bad guy, but we all love to hate you, as it were. You know.
I think that, but it was the same in Germany. They bought me like when I trained in Germany with the spots I did in shows. I was like the evil foreign heel.
Yeah.
But but again, my idol. I got two. I've got three, but the two guys in UK wrestling are Shah Samuels and Martin Stone.
Yeah.
And they're just loudmouth thugs. I was like, well, some reason that works. So I'm going to be a loudmouth thug.
Yeah.
And when I went over, I remember like I got good praise because I was just loud and sounds weird, loud and proud, and just to be a heel and just to be like mug, you know, like don't be, because I showed confidence. It's all about confidence and being loud and noisy. Oh, he's a dick, but I'm being confident and I'm being aggressive as well, and I think that's what kind of got me to be a favorite, because this guy is like I just show my energy. It's like, oh, you know, I'm not the best grappler, but I make up for it I make up for it in other places. You know, but no, I really enjoy Reach for what I really like. Again, such a positive atmosphere and a nice place to go. And you know, I'm not it's just fun. I just want, like, again, through lockdown, I just want to be around positive people. If you're negative, I don't like. I've listened to a lot of I've listened to a lot of Joe Rogan, and it's just like I don't want to be. If you're going to be negative, I don't want to be around you. Like,
Yeah, no,
really,
you know, a lot of us love wrestling because, and we all like to put it in a good light. But there's always, especially on social media, you find a lot of people that want to put it down all the time and put people down, don't they? You know,
because they haven't. I don't know. Like, everyone has an opinion. Like, I made a positive tweet. I saw something Moose did on Impact. I went, that was it. He did this thing where he passed away now during the first lockdown. But do you remember Impact when they did the old opening of pay-per-views and they had the guy that did that really deep voice?
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Well, he sadly passed away.
Oh God, really?
He sadly he sadly passed away in the first lockdown last year. Don't know what of. He just says, you know, and where Impact have is it narrator? I can't say it. I can't say it properly. But you know, like the voiceover.
Yeah.
And in Moose was like, I don't want the Impact guy. I want the TNA guy. And then what they did was they got old clips of wrestlers just talking about, like, probably most likely someone else, but they always referred it back to Moose.
Yeah,
and it's just funny because they own the video clips, they put it all together. And so, long story short, is I just said this is really entertaining, and I just had someone on Twitter be like, "I think you're wrong. I think it's this person." I'm just like, "That's cool. You're entitled to that, but why do I need to know that? I'm trying to do something positive.
Yeah.
And you're throwing something negative." It's like I was just like, ugh. So
that's the problem. That's the problem with people when they get behind a computer screen and a keyboard. They can just say they can think they can say what they like and not, you know, not have to face any consequences for it. Basically,
yeah, it's like the speech what Vinnie Jones does in Snatch.
Yeah.
Guys have got the fake, you know. He goes, when you got replica down the size of your guns, and I got Desert Point Eagle. No, was it Desert Point Eagle 0.50? And it's kind of like that. It's like they've got they think they're really cool with these like replica guns, but really they just So he says it. I can't say any better. That speech from Vinnie Jones done.
He's got a way of putting across, hasn't he, Vinny? He's got a way of putting things across.
So you mentioned a moment ago wrestling in Germany. How did that opportunity come around for you, and how does wrestling in Europe differ from over here?
So the opportunity came, literally, I was, at the time, I was in a shit job. I felt like nothing really in the UK I was doing. I felt like any opportunity I got was wrong, or I was doing something wrong. And at the time, personally, I had not a great job in the thing I loved doing, which was wrestling, wasn't going well. And I just felt like, wait a minute here, I'm doing this gimmick, or the old gimmick I used to do, and I'm not getting where I want to go. I'm doing something wrong, but no one's telling me. Like, I've got ideas, but they go, oh no, just, you know, stay there, stay there. But really, they're like, stay there so I can run past you. That's what they really meant.
Yeah.
And I just went, no, fuck this. And I just saw this thing by Germany, and I felt like, you know what? I just need to get outside my comfort zone. And that's exactly what I did. And, you know, yes, I paid myself to go over there, but I learned, one, it got my passion back up. I had a ring literally, I got a key to basically, you're a key to a wrestling ring. You know,
Nice.
every day I was down there. I didn't realize, and I know now, this is a funny story, that he's just got signed, but Mike Bailey, Regal's son,
Yeah.
I lived with him for a month and didn't know it.
All right.
Because every time I used to talk to him, oh yeah, like my dad's really famous. He literally got like, you're trying to poke the bear, and he was so good at, like, yeah, I trained here. My father's a real famous wrestler. I'm just like, something's going on, because every time we'd be at a show, I don't want to mention any names, but just say the top German talent were extra nice to him. And even though I was paying dues, I was doing the ring, I was doing this, they were nice to me because I was bigger than everyone, apart from Walter. He was big, he was massive.
Yeah.
It's like another funny story. Like, I did the ring with Dragunov.
All right.
Like,
yeah.
You got Killer Kelly in the back of the van handing us the boards. I was like, you're an NXT. I'm doing the posts with Dragunov. I'm like, you don't have to do this. He tells me to shut up and just move. I'm like, okay. And their mentality is so good. It's like, you don't care if you're main event, you're helping, you're doing something. If it's helping with the lights or doing the ring, it doesn't matter if you're main event. On show days, the ring van would be there at 2 o'clock, and I was with the ring van, and everyone else had to be there for 2:30. Doesn't matter if you're main event. Didn't matter if you were the champion. Everyone rocked up together, and we all helped together. Instead of like, and again, that just shows you how professional WXW were. It was just like, this is the time and this is the place. Like, no excuse. And
I suppose it gets you bonded
really
then, doesn't it? You're all bonding together as well.
Exactly. And, you know, there's always catering. Like, that was pretty good. Like, they always, like, even if it was just water and sandwiches, there was like, you are the guys that make the effort. And they made you feel like, even like, there was one show, I was just doing the ring crew, but they're like, no, sit down and eat. You did the ring. You get food. Where in the UK, it would be like, oh, you're not a wrestler. You're not allowed to stay here. And so that's what I really enjoy. Like, that's another thing what I love about Germany. And everyone's just so happy there. Like, the mentality there, it's just like, you know, people say, you know, I knew some people, some trainees were doing 2-hour train journeys a week, there and back. So 4 hours just to train on a train.
That's dedication for you, isn't it?
Exactly. And so when I came back to the UK, it really made me appreciate, it's a night, instead of it's a 90-minute drive, like, it's a 90-minute drive. Like, the time I put on Joe Rogan or something to wrestle with, or Jim Cornette, I'm going to be there, and it's easy, you know. But no, in Germany, I learned a lot. Like, they told me, get rid of the hokey gimmick, get rid of it. Like, you being you and just being a loudmouth person, you're more over because you're showing confidence. I got the baby face there being a mute, me just shouting away. They're like, you know, and it worked.
Yeah.
They hated me, and it's like, you know, uh, and I can't remember his name. It's really bad. He passed away, and it really made me sad. Oh, in Germany, it's gonna annoy me now. Forgotten his name. Do you know he was? I can't remember his name, but he sadly passed away. And he like came backstage and he was like, "You outshone the baby faces by just being loud." I'm like, is that a bad thing? Well, sort of, but good job. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's good when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But so
And,
you've both wrestled and helped out at Rev Pro, which is one of the biggest, as you said, probably one of the top 5 in the country. How did you get involved with Rev Pro, and what's your ambitions with them?
Well, Rev Pro have got connections to the Portsmouth School of Wrestling,
Right.
and if I get an opportunity at Rev Pro, it would be fantastic. I think for so long, you know, when JR says, "Oh, they got to go away and learn a new hold."
Yeah.
I think that's what maybe I have to do to get to Rev Pro.
Because you've wrestled there a few. Have you wrestled there a few times before? Haven't you? A few years ago.
I've wrestled. Yeah, I wrestled a few times before, but maybe it's just my style. I'm not sure, but like, I want to be there. That's my dream. That's my goal, to wrestle for Rev Pro.
Yeah.
But I feel like for at least a couple of years now, where it's like, what have I got to do? What have I got to do? What have I got to do? Instead of, no, that will just come. Like, one day I may just get a message and be like, "We like your work. We think you're good enough to be on our shows." And I'll be like, amazing. And I just want to be more positive and just be like, instead of chasing the carrot, that carrot will come to me one day when I say, yeah, I can, like, I can be on those shows. And yes, I've had opportunities, but again, that was the old me and not what I am now. So I'm like, that's a definitely one goal I want to go for Rev Pro. And I'm really happy for the opportunities I've got. Again, the knowledge you learn from those guys backstage is really good. Like, you know, sadly, some of them got called out, and you found out they're not so nice people. But at the time, you know, at the time you didn't know. So when they give you feedback and when they give you feedback and they're main eventing, it's like, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, you realize they're a piece of shit. So, you know,
I think there was a lot of. Yeah, I think there was a lot of wrestlers in the same boat as you, really, wasn't there? You know, shocked at what was coming out.
Yeah, and well, they're doing their time, or they should be doing their time, and whatever is whatever. So let's move on to something more positive. I say,
absolutely.
Don't give them the time of day.
That's good. That is, yeah.
Okay, so Reach have managed to keep some wrestling going through the pandemic with their Unit 10 shows, and Josh Knott and LA Taylor have become tag team champions. Will we see Beauty and the Beast challenging for those titles when shows are starting up again?
It all depends on Reach management. Like, I love tagging with Lance, because me and him, even though like we're fan favorites, I just feel like I'm this loudmouth, aggressive beast, and he can just stand there because he's got the body. It's like Val Venus and A-Train. It's just like, we're two aggressive styles, and we're two heels, but with polar opposites.
Yeah,
which works. But again, I think because we're just so confident of what we do, that's how we've gotten becoming fan favorites because you just go in there and we know what we do and it works. And you know, I love, and again, I have this great promo I could do on Josh Knox. I may get some heat, but well, I may get a bit of a, we can't say that. I just did. Again, that's where I want to get the character again. Like, I am a very blunt person, so I kind of just want to be like, well, let me just say how it is. And again, it's weird. It's like Walter, when he chops people, it's the coolest spot of the match. But 5 years ago, when he was just probably a mid-carder, and he goes, yeah, I do a chop and it's going to hurt. Oh, I'm not taking that. But now it's the coolest thing in the match.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's that gift of him chopping Adam Cole. And Adam Cole, that hits so big. And the noise and he flips. It's the coolest chop in wrestling. But 6 years ago, yeah, I'm going to chop you really hard. Oh, great. You know? But now, now you be going up to, yeah, chop me really hard. I want to cry. I want to sell it. I want to make it look awesome. But
I'm going to put my bloody chest on Twitter.
Yeah. You know, I put on Twitter, got chopped by Walter. It's like, oh, but 7 years ago, he'd be like, 7 years ago, you would have a total, oh, for fuck's sake, do I have to take it? Again, it goes back to me and Cole, where it's just like, I think, you know, it'd be really cool to see us there at Unit 10, like to actually have a title shot that we're still in contender for. Like, but like Josh Knox is a 3-time champ and he hasn't lost it. So, I think it's time for him to lose. I think it's time to lose it now.
Lose properly, yeah. Are you surprised at Beauty and the Beast are as big in reach as what they've become? And would you like to wrestle with them at other promotions? Take Beauty and the Beast further afield?
Me and Lance both love wrestling. And I think that's where we love old school attitude era. We just love wrestling, and that's where we work well. And we go out there and we just want to, like, even though we argue, it's like, I think if we can go elsewhere and take the tag team, because I think there is a market. Because again, going back to Jamie Hayter, there's a market for tag team wrestling in the UK. All the good tag teams, all the tag teams I know of, are signed. There's a big market for, but again, we're working in this generation now of tag team wrestling promoters. So I've got to pay 4 guys instead of 2. And you know, I'll be honest, that's what it boils down to. If your tag team is worth it, promoters will invest. But again, it's like, oh, I can put on 6 matches or I can put on 5. Well, why can't we have 5 and make them, like, the whole point is it's different. It's a tag team. It's different. And again, I think, it's, there's a reason why there's not many tag teams in the UK.
Yeah. But you and Lance have got great chemistry.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got great chemistry.
Like, I really enjoy with him. I don't know if you're going to do one with him, but me and him just we travel like where I live to Plymouth is 4 hours. So you're 4 hours there and back in a car with a guy that, like, cool, let's do this today, or how about this, and you know, maybe we should get matching gear, or. But then the reason why we work is because we are polar opposites. Maybe we shouldn't, you know, there's so many variables that we could do. Or like, you know, I had a thing where, like, I had a real cool comedy spot where we would do a vignette before a match and he can't find his robe. And I'd be like, I found one, and it would be this bright pink, like bath, like what do you call it? Bath robe, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he would be hating me, like you're a dickhead, like, you're such a dick. I'm like, what? It's not on your road. And he would come out, and then he would have to come out wearing this pink robe, and then like moments later, you'll see me wearing his robe. Robe, and like, you know, and there's like comedy spots where it's just like that, like you guys are laughing, and I'm just saying the story instead of visualizing the story. So I think we've got like, again, it's like we can be serious heels, we can be argumentative bad like baby faces, or again we can do comedy stuff as well, like hate, like again being argumentative, being just mean to each other. That again, there's not much of it in wrestling, so that's why again I feel like the fans like us, because we're just different, you know. There's makes me laugh. I saw this post the other day.
Yeah, no, carry on.
I just saw this post the other day, and it was like, how can I be different in wrestling? And I literally wanted to put like, make your shit mean something. How about that? You know,
yeah.
You know, that's why I really want to put that, because I'm blunt. Just like make everything mean something. Like, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, so I won't. But like, we've got a few new. I'll say it briefly, but we got a few new teachers at the time at Portsmouth School of Wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
And again, it's just like they've just taught me new little techniques on how to make a shoulder tackle just that much better. So I feel like when I get the opportunity to wrestle again, you'll just see the level just from here to here.
Yeah.
So again, I'm just like, which, you know, just that one shoulder tackle, I made it mean something, and going, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. You know, that will get the crowd going.
Yeah. But one of the pictures of the year for me, last year or the year before, was when you and Lance are on a picture, and you've got Lance in the foreground pointing at his arm with the captain's armband on, and you're just doing that in the background. That was a fantastic picture.
Like, it was a fantastic picture.
Yeah.
And at the time, we weren't even. I thought we were just mucking around backstage, you know. You know, it wasn't even supposed to be serious. And then Lance was like, I like that. I'm like, I hate it, because I was taking the mic. I was taking the mic and having a bad posture, so my gut really hanged out. He's like, I like that. I'm like, I hate it because I'm not. I look terrible. But no, it's it was just good fun. Again, it's I'm trying to think of a tag team that were like it. I guess I can't think of any UK tag teams, but I think me and Lance have got good. Like, we both live nearby, so if any promoter wanted to use us, we both easily like can meet up.
Yeah,
I think there were a lot of tag teams where one guy was in London, the other guy was in Manchester. You know, where it's just like, no, I can pick him up. He's on my way.
Yeah, if it cuts down on the traveling expenses, isn't it? It's a lot better.
It all helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it like at the end of the day, me and Lance, we both love wrestling. If we can return to Reach, we will. If we can go elsewhere, we will, because we just love wrestling. If it's tag team or singles, like, you know, it will happen.
But who currently has the captain's armband?
I don't know. I think he has. I mean, you know, I think
but
he has it.
Do you see him yourself as the captain, though?
Well, I sent him the captain's armband. I sent him a nice pink and yellow one for Christmas. Just to take the mic. I think he's got it. He can be the captain. I would just want to beat people up and have fun. He can have the responsibility. So
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well.
So we've seen you at Rev Pro, Reach, UPW as well, Big League and Strike. Who else have you wrestled for?
I've wrestled for WX. I'm proud to wrestle for WXW. That was cool.
Yeah.
I've wrestled for a company called EWA in High Wycombe.
Right.
I've done one match for WrestleForce. That was against he's back in his home country now. I can't remember the guy. Can't remember the guy I wrestled, but he was sound. He was really cool. If I remember, I'll get him over. Trying to think. I've wrestled for Fight Nation when they were around. Before I wrestled for Fight Nation for a bit. I'm just trying to think. It's mainly the southern-based companies. Like, actually, I wrestled in Northern Ireland for PWU at the time.
Oh, Pro Wrestling Ulster, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I think they're not there anymore, or they because their deal was they would wrestle and they'd always have like one international attraction a month.
Yeah.
At the time, at that show, it was Colt Cabana, and he just remembers me for one being at UPW, and two, I think for Rev Pro, I picked him up like 3 times before.
All right, yeah.
I went over to him like, "Hey, how's it going, sir?" And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I'm like, I got a show, I got booked here, and he's like, "Good for you." He's like, it was like thanks in a sarcastic way, like cheers.
He sounds like a fun bloke though.
He's really cool. Like he's got, and I remember it was also at that show was Tony Storm versus how do you pronounce the name right? Zia Brookside.
Zia Brookside,
Brookside.
Yeah.
They were on the women's title, and that was really cool. Like at that time, I made good friends with the Kings of Wrestling. They were really cool. Again, one of them they were doing. I think they were planning a match for OTT.
Right. Yeah.
For like the month later. I remember one of them going, "I'm really scared of heights," and I just went up to him and why? I just went up to him like, "Why don't you just steal the ladder spot from TNA like years ago?" And what's that? Oh, the ref did a bump. You got the baby face. He'll take the briefcase down. And you hit him with the belt or hit him with a weapon, and the whole Eddie Guerrero. Wait, take the ref up. You holding the briefcase.
Yeah,
and it was just like it was just funny because he said, "Oh, that's cracking," and it was just like, "Who's this guy?" I was like, "Don't know." But no, I was funny enough. I was seeing Big Damo there at the time, just before he got signed. I was like, "I'm coming over. I've just had a breakup. I'm unhappy. I want to see my friend before he goes away."
Yeah.
So he helped me get on that. And funny enough, the reason why he wasn't there because he's going to go to a Rev Pro show. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And but no, that was really cool. That was a real great experience. But I'm just trying. I think that's it. I want to again. There's so many more places I want to go, but I think the opportunity will be there. I think there's a lot of guys that have been signed. And then there's a lot of, I won't say guys, I say cockroaches that have been kicked out, or negative people that have been kicked out. And I think there's a big opportunity for the new wave of wrestling. But again, it's, how do you put it? It's investment. And again, I don't know what it's going to be like. Like, you think a show that used to be a 200-seat venue could only be 80 people now. So what's that going to do? It's like, at the end of the day, we forget it's a show, it's a business. Bit like that gentleman or that lady who promotes the show, she's doing it to make money. Well, they should be doing it to make money, not to be like, "Oh, I did a wrestling show." Like doing a bake-off. You're there to make money, and we are the gears that help you make money. And it all depends. Like right now, I feel like it's going to be like Saturday. It's going to be like Saturday football or Sunday Saturday rugby or Sunday football, where at our level, apart from the top UK guys that aren't signed, they will get paid, but the lower guys, I don't want to cause arguments, but it's going to be a weird thing what's happening. It's like you shouldn't work for free, but there's no money, like, but you want to still do it. And I remember playing rugby on a Saturday, you know, popping out my collarbone or getting a concussion. And I go, well, why do I do this? Oh yeah, because I enjoy it and I want to do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know what's going to happen. I just know, I feel like maybe the lower tier people may have to work for free. But if you're going to give me footage and pictures, well, that's an advertisement to send to the bigger companies. Go, hey, this is what I look like. This is what I can do. So if you could pay me in that, so I can go and send my CV to a bigger company, then it's worthwhile. But
it's making the best of whatever situation you've got, isn't it? Really?
Exactly. If me and Lance go to Unit 10 and we have one match this year, and obviously we're going to we're going to beat, you know, the Barbie and the Jolly Farmer. We will. He is the Jolly Farmer. And,
he don't look very jolly to me every time he's in the ring. He's always screaming and shouting at people.
Oh mate, you know what? If they came out, I'm gonna get Kyle and say, you gotta play Aqua Barbie Girl, and then halfway through play, oh, what's that one hit wonder with all the farmers? Do you know it? And they
not Cotton Eye Joe, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to gonna steal the MC and be like, when Josh Knox comes out, you're gonna play that music and just rib him. Oh, I may do that.
That'd be great.
I may do that. Oh, that'd be good. See again. Just making people happy by just, you know, doing something different.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be amazing. That would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, on that happy note, Lucian, I think we'll say thank you very much for tonight. It's been a fantastic interview. We've really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Oh, well, I don't even say it's an interview. It's just, you know, it's just nice seeing friends again, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
it is nice. It is nice chatting to you, I must admit, you know.
Yeah.
And last time I saw you, was it DWA?
It was DWA, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tiverton.
I wrestled there as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We both forgot that.
It was literally my last show.
We all forgot about DWA. Yeah. Have you wrestled there much?
I think I've had 2 matches there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I wrestled for Fight Star for Josh Knox. No, not Josh Knox. What's Fight Star in Bournemouth?
That's Bournemouth, isn't it?
Sorry?
Christchurch way, isn't it? Fight Star, something like that.
Yeah.
Is it? I can't remember. Yeah, it's Christchurch, Ferndown way.
Yeah, Ferndown, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, but I've wrestled there as well. Actually, that's my last match there. Before lockdown. Yeah, so I wrestled there as well. But no, thank you for having me, and it's great seeing friends again.
Oh, it's lovely to see him. Can't wait to see you in person again soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Fingers crossed.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah.
Cool t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah, man. Like, again, watching old wrestling and learning how to be a heel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, you take care. See you soon.
You take care, my friend.
Take care, mate.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Thank you.